Where there's a pedestrian mall, it really killed traffic on both sides because there's no way really to get between the freeway there and Fulton. So unless you intended to be on this little block, there's not really much reason to be there. So I think one of the beneficiaries we'll see will be these buildings that are pretty underutilized here start popping up, and we would expect there to be businesses, maybe upstairs housing or office again. Mecca Billiards has said that they will go into a full billiard room, not just selling tables anymore as soon as the street opens up. So those are the kinds of things we can look forward to. This is where Mehmet Noyan and Terrence Frazier, they got cap and trade funds to build 5 stories of housing here, one floor retail, 4 floors of housing up above it that will look into the stadium. Terrence Frazier has another building over on 8th Street, just over here, that he's looking at developing. So a lot of different things. People are starting to sense the change that's coming, and the market is starting to respond to it. But you know, the number that I remembered as we were doing our research, there were 175 cities that have reopened their pedestrian mall. Out of 189, 175 are gone. We'll be 176. We're the second to put one in. We'll be the 176 to take one out. Right? There you go.
You wrote it out.
First in, last out.
We're hard-headed.
Yes, we are very stubborn.
Yeah.
But the thing that we learned was that 90% of the downtowns that restored traffic revitalized in the first 4 years or less. Some of them, almost the very first year, they completely got rid of vacancy. Now, we have a lot bigger downtown, and I think it's not going to happen overnight, but I think you'll start to see the change pretty quickly. And if you were to come down here before construction started, say come down to this intersection at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, and were to count people, you might get 10 or 20 an hour, right? So the change will be to come down here at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night after this opens and start seeing those numbers go up pretty quickly, which will attract more businesses. As we attract more businesses, they attract more people, and we start putting things back in the right direction again, toward the positive side. So,
is there going to be a lot more of these presents and stuff? Because I think that may be a turn right now.
yeah, yeah, right now we're using all of our security dollars for nighttime security because we were having arson and broken windows and things like that. But as the street opens, you would expect us to start spending our security budget on the times when people are here.
Who's security? Cities or the downtown?
Downtown Partnership. So the Downtown Partnership is a property owners association. The property owners voted to assess themselves. That money goes into a pot, and one of the things that they prioritize to spend that money on is security. The parking company is now running nighttime security through the garages. This is the security company right there. Downtown headquartered local security company. And yeah, so we would expect to shift that so that there is more security while people are here, so that they're going to have a better experience and be safer. Not just feel safer, but actually be safer. We also have the bike patrol, which the hours on that should start shifting later. And then the last thing about that is there's something called entertainment district policing. So if you go to downtown San Jose or Gaslamp or Washington, D.C., Georgetown or something, where there's a lot of people out and it's a really fun party, they changed their policing strategies, and there's a special certification in San Diego that would teach our police officers how to do entertainment district policing. And it's a little counterintuitive for police, because part of what they learn is that you overlook some things. You know, so if you see someone walking down the street and there are a bunch of restaurants and clubs and stuff is happening here, and you see someone with an open container, you know, you're not putting him up against the wall and arresting him. It's more like, hey, you know you can't do that. Put it out. If I see you again, I'll cite you, you know. And they just, they ignore some of the little stuff and they prioritize, you know, the people that are being aggressive or might fight or they're just completely hammered or whatever. And they focus on the bigger priority issues. So this last budget cycle, we asked that the police start sending some people down to San Diego to get certified so that when this reopens, we'll have the right kind of policing for the right kind of situation. And the good thing was Jerry Dyer was chair of the California Police Chiefs Association, and he got to work with all these chiefs, and so he really got to see how it worked from their standpoint. So it's really changed his perspective, and he's been very supportive of it. So it's not just having the police, it's having them do the right thing as well. Do the thing that works. You know, anything, so what else do we have? We have City View Apartments over there. They've won some awards. Those apartments on the corner of Van Ness, if you were to walk over a little bit, were built with the new design code. So again, you can see right up on the sidewalk where the balconies are, ground floor retail. Just to the left of them will be House of Pendragon and Pita Kebab. Will be opening in a few months. So starting to get that thing you see in other cities where you start seeing groupings of craft beer and fun places and burgers and gastropubs and all that kind of popping up. So we would expect that to happen much more quickly once we get access on here.
With the growing cycling community and everything, are we going to get any green lanes or area to build from other areas, like from Tower to come this way? Heard another couple say we could ride our bikes now downtown. Right. And is there any kind of safe route or designated route? Because I know with the Fresno cycling community, they've been talking about bringing in a green lane, and then they're testing it up north. Will they bring it down here to be a safer route because the roads are so small?
Yeah, so the cap and trade funds include, they'll have the first, what's the word? The bike lane is actually separated from the street. Okay. What is that called? Protected lane, yeah. So around here and around Van Ness, we'll get the first protected lanes in downtown. So that's in the works right now.
So it'll be a full class 2?
Class 4. There you go.
Separated.
Yeah. So there's like a little curb separating the bike lane from the.
And then but just not to get through.
Not in here.
I mean, at least enough to be around, but not through.
Yep.
Okay.
And with the
because that's always it's hard to come from Tower to over here, because even when we ride our bikes to go to work on this side, it's kind of you're dodging everything. So even if you're around the sides, at least there's kind of a different type of travel, an easier way to travel.
So I think Van Ness will be the main route through downtown, the north and south route that you'll probably be using, although M Street does have a painted lane. I don't know where that stops, but I know it goes through the whole cultural arts district that way. Fulton won't have a designated lane just because of the narrowness and the desire from the community to have the wide sidewalk. So some things had to give, like diagonal parking would be preferred, but we didn't get that because we need the space for the pedestrians. The bike lane had to give, so you end up with some compromises sometimes. Some we agree with, some we don't.
But there is something at least around the perimeter that will be safe enough.
Yep. And if this is as healthy a street as we think it is, the bikes will probably be traveling faster than the cars, right? What else? That's about it. Bathroom break?
15 minutes break.
Do we?